back to the official Sasquatch and Squirrel Show. I'm Phil.
I'm Tim. For this episode, we alluded to the Challenger's astronauts still being alive.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So this one right here, it came to me. I was going down a rabbit hole here. Somebody sent me a TikTok, and there's this gentleman that was addressing the Brevard County, Florida Commission. It was like some kind of public hearing
Right.
where you can go out there and comment on different things.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy was over here talking about the Challenger explosion.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us old enough to remember, 1986, Challenger lifts off, heading to the International Space Station, and explodes 73 seconds after liftoff.
I remember that.
Yeah. Where were you when that happened?
Fruitland Park Elementary School. I was in the 3rd grade at the time.
Oh, wow. You were definitely close. I was in Nashville, Tennessee in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
But like the thing was, I do remember they rolled the TV into the room, and we were all excited about getting to watch TV because we're kindergartners and it's TV. How exciting! And then the worst thing possible could have happened. This right here really affected me as a person because I remember crying over this event.
Mm-hmm.
The spaceship blew up. I mean, it was a national tragedy.
Right.
When I got this information, I want to say right now, if it's true, it really, really got up under my skin.
Mm-hmm.
Because my whole question is why? So let's get into what happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's been several reports of people finding people who not only look alike, sound alike, same facial expressions, same name.
Mm-hmm.
The people that was actually in the Challenger that blew up are alive and well today. Now, 7 of the astronauts went up. 6 of them they found to be alive. What do you think already on this topic?
I mean, okay. Why fake their deaths? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. They say everybody's got a doppelganger out there, but
True.
unless this source or wherever his TikTok he got it from has seen these people in person and possibly done facial recognition or done some sort. There's a science to that where they
There
can take
is.
a look at somebody's older self and match it up. But I mean, you just don't know. I mean, and at this point, what would NASA or the government or ever who faking these people's deaths? What would that accomplish? And I mean, unless they were just trying to get a national tragedy for sympathy, or it was another distraction tactic.
Yeah, who knows? Because I don't really, of course, that was like when I was in kindergarten, so I wasn't really political savvy.
Well, yeah, and at that age, no one knows what a false flag is. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right. And that stuff was so far out of left field, you didn't even think about it.
no, because back then, this is during the Reagan administration. We actually, somewhat trusted the government back then.
Indeed, indeed. Now, and the thing is, too, a lot of these conspiracy theories, if you consider them that, um, the least amount of people that knows what's going on, the better, so you can get the most perfect reaction. But there's been other reports of things happening where everybody knew and they just played like an actor or actress.
I mean, this is something new that you just told me about the other day, and I did some research on it. But I mean, from the pictures that I've seen, yeah, it could be the same person. But I think I told you that when you sent me the TikTok, I'm like, what would be really good about this if it didn't have a bunch of shit floating in their faces. They put some stupid little like graphic on the TikTok, and it's distorting stuff.
Right, right.
So that right there tells me that it's either the person that did the TikTok is a jerk.
Right, right. Now, the one that had the guy that was talking at the Brevard County hearing, this was what got me interested because they didn't want to hear it. Now,
oh no, yeah, they shut that shit down.
yeah,
quickly.
they shut it down quick, and I sent you that clip. Now,
Mhm.
after a little bit of research, this is where it kind of loses credibility. So I found out that this group of people that brought this to their attention is flat earthers. Yeah, that right there is a line that I draw. I mean, you can look up in the damn sky and see all these round objects, and here we are, you know. And these guys are like, you can't get past the bit because you'll hit water or some shit." I'm like, really? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, there's more land around Antarctica. Come on, dude. I get it. And there's like, someone said recently, there's never a full picture of the Earth, from I'm like, okay, I don't know if there is, if there isn't. But
I mean, even if you went up into space and you looked at the
mhm,
Earth and you saw the roundness of it,
mhm,
they're like, "Well, that's it. It's flat." I mean, well, when you look at a damn basketball, you can only see maybe 50% of that of the basketball at one time. I mean, you
right.
can't see a full sphere unless you deflate it, cut it open, boom, flat. That kind of stuff kind of irritates me. But anyways, now that we got that bit out of the way, let's discuss another one. Now, this is another flat Earth team. It could be the same group of people.
Right.
They come out with a film called "Level with Me," and they went into a long spiel about this. Now, what was actually interesting was they went up to some of these people that were still alive, like one of them, I think it was Judy Fresnick. She was like one of the people of the spacecraft. Apparently now a professor at Yale. And this guy went out there to interview her, and she didn't even want to hear it. She was just like denying and like just walked off and like. So it kind of brought suspicion. So I watched the
Well,
video further. Now there's other people.
mhm. No, so let me interject that. So maybe, to play somewhat of a devil's advocate here, maybe,
Sure.
Ms. Resnick is just goddamn sick and tired of people walking up to her and saying, "Hey, are you this person?
Leave me alone.
Me alone. Get off my lawn."
Yeah, but like
But
she
no, but
didn't even change her name.
right.
So she looks like an older version of herself
Mhm.
from the old photos of the NASA astronauts that we've seen.
Correct.
She is a Yale law professor, so not hiding herself at all. And the same first and last name. Yeah, we all have doppelgangers. Yeah, we can all share same names, but a good majority of these people are all still alive. And now, like, here's an example. There was the Asian fellow. I forget his name. I think it was like Edison or something like that. Claims to be his identical twin brother Claude. And when he was approached about it, he's like, I mean, you like back in the day, identical twins was a big thing. It was very rare, and
Mhm.
there would be tons of photos of that. And while he says the only photo that he had, he gave to his brother, that his brother was going to go up into space and autograph it and take a photo beside and come back down or whatever was the plan. But it just kind
Okay.
of seems a little bullshit to me, if that's the truth.
That screams I'm sorry, that's complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Are you gonna
Now, what, when you say bullshit, elaborate a little bit.
Ooh,
What the
I
claim
mean,
is
'cause it's
bullshit,
just
or is it what he's
yeah,
saying about his
no,
brother bullshit?
no, I'm just hold on, I need a minute because that fucking broke me. The only picture that you have of you and your twin brother, you're gonna take it to space, sign it, talk about fucking convenient, dude.
I'm telling you, and like just ultimate bad luck at the very best,
Yeah, at least that'll ruin your weekend.
right?
Come on. Come on.
And back in the day, you
Oh
just
my
didn't have
god.
a Kinko's or any kind of like like place to go and like get a copy of your stuff. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not laughing at the tragedy of the guy's brother,
right?
if it's his twin brother died, but just I mean, you wanna talk about something just being shoehorned in?
Hmm.
Come on, man.
Now check this
He
out.
needs
There was
and
another
and
twin on this flight, if we could believe
well,
that.
yeah, and then right, but I thought they said you had to be smart to be an astronaut.
Oh well. Dude, I tell you,
Anyways, go ahead,
I've
sorry.
worked with some
Okay.
engineers that are just, um, that some of these engineers are just.
Listen,
But
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
So yeah,
right,
there's two twins on the space shuttle, but not I mean not
right.
obviously not related to each other. But so you're saying that what was the guy what was the guy's name that had
His name was Ronald McNair. I believe that's his name, and I believe he was the black fellow. He claims to be brother Colin McNair.
okay.
I could be messing up that name, but that's another one. Can we please get photo evidence?
I mean,
Now,
well maybe he took the only photo of him and his brother up in space to autograph
good.
it to bring
You
it
know, there's
back.
a rash of this stuff going on.
I know. I mean, there's just something that's super convenient about all this. Anyways.
I know. All right, now, in that film that I was mentioning, Level with Us, they interviewed, I think it was Mickey Smith.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to say that, and he's actually another professor. He's a professor at University of Wisconsin, supposedly.
Okay.
Didn't change his name. Looks just like him. Same dimples, same eye color. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, now if these guys' eye color was different, I mean, yes, there's a way to change that with contact lenses, but really, who's going to go through that bullshit?
Yeah.
This
I
guy
mean,
has the same eye color from the photos I've seen, which, if anybody watches that film, just warning, flat earther film.
mhm.
So get what information you want out of it.
Take it with a huge grain of salt.
Grain the size of the moon. It's
Yeah.
just what we're reporting. They interviewed Mickey Smith, and he was just like, deny, deny, deny. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, there's a guy that emails me all the time. You know.
Mhm.
Now, one of them, she was a school teacher, the infamous school teacher, and I think that right there was the reason why all the kids were crying in class that day.
Right.
Because you think we loved our kindergarten teacher. She was an amazing person,
Mhm.
and she was talking to us about this right here, and it was like, could you imagine that? Right? It's like that's what got us all crying. But
Yeah. Well, and plus you guys you're in kindergarten, you're 5 to 6 years old. You just saw something you don't understand. So it's a
mhm,
natural instinct to wanna, get a little boohooey about it.
right, especially like you just witnessed like that many people die.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's heavy stuff, especially being a child. I mean, that's life altering right there.
Right.
But the teacher, now her name is what is her name? I forget.
It is well, it depends on which one you're going with. If you're going with when she was a astronaut, it was
Oh yeah, McAuliffe or something like that.
yeah, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, her middle name is Sharon,
Right.
and that's the exact middle name of the teacher. Now, she is actually a Syracuse law professor.
Okay.
Goes by Sharon McAuliffe.
Mhm.
If I'm saying it the last name correct, I
Yeah,
apologize if I mess it up.
yeah.
But you know, wow. And like this person right here went on several shows, like talk shows and stuff before, because I remember watching that.
Mhm. Yeah, because she was a
Um,
big deal. I mean, I remember them making a big deal about it until the
oh
lead up
yeah,
of the shuttle
and
launch.
like yeah, she was even like saying, "I don't think anything bad's gonna happen." Like little foreshadowing.
Mhm. Right. Spoiler alert.
Right, right. Whoops. So, and then of course there's Francis Richard Scobie.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, what does he go by now?
Dick. Oh, that's his name, by the way. He goes by Dick Scobie. It sounds like something that would have an itch to it.
Yeah, and he's a CEO of Cows and Trees Incorporated. Now, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but a nickname of Richard is Dick. This guy looks exactly.
But the thing is, though, his name prior to it was Francis. It wasn't Richard.
Oh well, Richard is his middle name.
You are correct, sir.
His photos of his older self and his now self, if this is the same person, they look so similar. It's scary how similar these people look.
I saw a picture of the Onizuka gentleman. This is where I'm gonna say when I saw the two side by side photos of the astronaut Onizuka and the alleged Onizuka of today, that one I did not. 100% buy because they looked a little bit different. I know it's been 40 years almost, and it's like so
40 years, a little bit of weight gain, it's possible.
it's one of those things you look at it and you go, maybe. But anyways,
But yeah, as I said, I believe it was a Yale law professor that was trying to run away from the thing, and that right there kind of made things stick for me. But I don't know.
the one thing that I noticed in my research was that they said that the crew cab did not, or crew cabin, whatever you want to call it. I'm not up on my NASA technical mumbo jumbo.
Crew cab, yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fine.
Did not explode. It fell to the it fell to the water,
Right.
and I'm assuming that they were, I don't know how many thousands of feet up.
Yeah, and they were falling at gravity speed, maybe with a little boost to them because of the explosion.
Maybe.
Okay, so let's talk about plausibles here. So them going that fast, they most of them, I believe, had oxygen on them, if it still worked. And I think that was a separate thing for safety reasons in case of an issue like this. And I think they did a lot of testing on that. That's why the cab detached, and maybe the jarring and the explosion could have made them pass out
Yeah.
and hit the water. Now, look, anybody that's hit water doing a belly flop know that stuff feels like damn falling on the concrete. So you can imagine from that high up hitting it, splash. Um, that might turn somebody to goo, possibly, unless there was
I guess it would depend on the structural integrity of the hull or the crew cabin that they were in. Now, I mean, that's the only thing for me that says, "Hey, you know what? Maybe they're still alive because of the cabin being intact." Other than that, I'm not buying the bullshit. So,
right. And on top of that, too, I don't remember hearing about any recovery efforts on the body because I thought I remembered them saying that they were vaporized by the explosion. You never really heard anything.
right, and wasn't there also video of somebody's parents at the launch after it blew up, and they're, like, smiling and yucking around and stuff?
Yeah, and it's just like you guys don't look like you just lost somebody. You look like you just won the lottery. Maybe their kids were sour kids and they were just bad parents. I mean, who knows, right?
You never know. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, now that could have been footage that was shot prior to the explosion, and they were just showing the parents. Anything's possible, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
My big thing, like I said in the beginning, is why fake their death? What
yeah, what did they get
purpose
out
does
of it?
that serve? Yeah, it doesn't make it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me as to why.
Big government always says never let a catastrophe go to waste. And I'll tell you
Right.
one thing that I do know about the that's well known. I don't
Mhm.
well, I say well known. It's well known amongst the engineering community.
Mhm.
Um, uh, NASA, the whole thing that caused the explosion supposedly were these O-rings, and
Mhm.
they were like, "Look, these things are going to fail." But at the time, NASA was getting their ass handed to them because they had several delays on this right here, and they didn't want another delay. So somebody made the call, people's lives be damned. That ship's going up, no more delays. Now that right there should be a manager eating his hat if he was the one that did that. If
I mean, it should be criminal charges at
I
that point.
agree. At that
Yeah,
point, yes, because
I mean, that's basically I would call I mean, I'm no legal expert, obviously, but I would say that that's at least gross negligence and possibly even manslaughter at that point. Because I mean, he's not directly I mean, technically
well,
not directly responsible for their
he
death,
kind of
but I mean,
is if he had knowledge of it, and then
that's true if he had
they
prior
just
knowledge,
didn't
yeah.
let it out until way later. And I mean, there's films out there that I've seen talking
Mhm,
about this issue. And I
mhm.
mean, yeah, you would think if these people were dead, the families would be compensated and be digging deep in his ass, getting his wallet out?
You would think. Go rectal archaeology on that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
100%. Now, I'll tell you the truth. The Challenger explosion was a national catastrophe. And if these people are dead, may they rest in peace.
Mhm.
And
100.
I apologize for bringing this up for that whole reason.
Right, I mean,
But
but it's just it's what this podcast is for, it's to question things and to be like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe it is,
maybe it
maybe
isn't.
it's true and maybe it isn't," but I don't wanna say that, if they are dead, God be with them, and like you said, may they rest in peace, but it's just but it just it does bring there's too many coincidences to not bring it up, and it's not out of disrespect or
Right.
a lack of empathy for people.
Right. It's hard to talk about, somebody losing a loved one, but you see these things occur, and it's just like somebody has to say something.
Yeah.
And granted, if these people are just victims of circumstance, that sucks. But there's just too many coincidences, and I do believe that there is a human blueprint. I mean, how
Mhm.
many times have you ran into someone's like, dude, you look just like my best friend and you sound just like really? So the points I'm going to make is okay, besides the fact of there's video proof evidence, these politicians getting their assholes tangled up in Brevard County about
Mhm.
kicking this guy out. And
Right.
maybe he was a troublemaker or something like that. I get it, right? There's so many what ifs,
Yeah.
but there's so many coincidences. It's just hard to just look away.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, well, there comes a point to where the boy who cried wolf was accurate at one point. It was true. So, and that's where it becomes, it's like, what's that old saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Hmm.
So maybe this guy figured something out. Maybe he's not being as forthcoming as he could be with all his information, but he definitely his mind, it's true, and we just thought it was a very interesting little corner to talk about and to maybe make people think. And there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
questioning anything and everything as you should, because that's what keeps you sharp and that's what makes life worth living. Is like if you just sit there and just get force fed everything by CNN or Fox, you're gonna have a boring life.
Here's something I thought of.
But
Okay, so 6 out of 7 of these people are alive.
correct.
Well, let's just say
Hmm.
this guy was alive after the shuttle explosion. Who I don't even know his name, but did he talk and get offed or something? This guy's looking like he's about to cause a problem. Get him.
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe he tragically shot himself in the back of the head twice.
He could have.
Yeah, it
Could have.
happens. It does happen.
I mean, history have shown.
It has. The one thing that I learned out of this whole episode
Oh, what's up?
is I'm old as hell.
Don't break your hip, Grandpa. Where can they find us, man?
First off, you, sir, are incredibly rude. Okay. Secondly,
Maybe.
they can find us on X at the official SS show, and they can email us at sasquatchandsquirrel@gmail.com.
All right.
Rude ass.
Have a good one.